Do not allow the ideology of politics to evaporate the humanity that's inside of you. A disturbing trend has been happening in this country. Republicans siding with Vladimir Putin, Republicans singing the praises of Russia, Republicans who are for this unlawful attack in the Ukraine. This assault on democracy has been praised by members of the Republican Party in America. Donald Trump calling Vladimir Putin smart, a genius. While Trump was president of the United States, he's the guy who lifted sanctions from Russia. Check the record. A bipartisan vote of the House of Representatives had to vote to condemn Donald Trump lifting those sanctions. Marjorie Taylor-Greene, U.S. Congresswoman out of the state of Georgia, keynotes a white nationalist conference just a few days ago. Before she took her position on the stage, that crowd was shouting, Putin, Putin, Putin. They had just given a round of applause for Russia because Fuentes, their leader and a known white nationalist, told them to. Marjorie Taylor-Greene keynotes that function, and it does not send chills through the body of everyone in the political world. It has become acceptable. It has become more than tolerable. And now they are agreeing with Putin and his assault on democracy, invading sovereign territory. 74% of Americans believe that what Russia is doing is wrong. That's based on a YouGov poll recently done. You know how hard it is to get 74% of Americans to agree on anything in this political era? But they seem pretty united behind the idea that what Russia is doing is wrong. Now, what happens? I'm anti-war. But what happens when we live in a world that's so divided that even our domestic politics starts to implode in the midst of international conflict? Usually, an international conflict would bring Americans together. It is continuing to divide us even more. Dr. King put it this way when he protested the Vietnam War. He said, war has a way of desensitizing us in America. When America is involved in international conflict, policies, social policies, and progress, it takes a backseat to the war interest. And the psychology of those in America tends to harden toward their American brothers and sisters. Where did this start? Donald J. Trump. Look at the trajectory. Republicans and Democrats were virtually united as it related to the Kremlin until Donald J. Trump became president. Democrats and Republicans were united on the idea that you cannot invade a sovereign, independent democracy until Donald J. Trump became president. While he did not split the ideology of Democrats, he definitely split the ideology of conservatives. So my question is this: why do you support who you support in the international conflict? And remember, Ukraine did nothing to provoke the assault. And for those who are saying, well, Doc, you know, it used to belong to Russia anyway. Ukraine used to belong to Russia, which, by the way, is not really factually true. If you believe that sentiment, if you believe that linear logic, then that means you're okay with Mexico going and getting Texas back. Those are my thoughts.